Did it work? Am I live? There we go. Now the question is, will chat come through? It's been a minute since I've done this. So let's check YouTube. I am live. Hey, there are some chats, but the chat is not showing up there. You do get a mostly technical tomorrow. We just recorded one this morning. So why is, oh, look, wait. YouTube is coming through. But it appears as if I can see Twitter. Hello, Jason. But Twitter does not show up there. Solo Desktop is released. The new version is out. It's everything. It's actually what we're looking at right here. It's everything you ever wanted and more. Let's find out. Streamlabs. Why is Twitter chat not showing up there? Has anyone ever used Streamlabs? Because I can see in Restream, I can see Twitter and YouTube chat combined. But up there, oh, wait, no. There's Twitter chat. It works. Cool. Hey, Darren. Can you show YouTube channel? I don't know what that means. Okay. This is fun. I haven't done this in a minute. All right, let's see. What are we going to do today? I don't need to look at that. I don't need to look at that. I don't need to look at that. Can you guys hear me okay? Does everything sound good? It's been a minute. I've got a new streaming setup. Hopefully it sounds good. Oh, my YouTube channel. Sure. Aaron D. Francis. That makes more sense. 22 minutes. Yeah, if you give them something to chew on, they'll really get after it. All right, this is the new soloterm.com. I just rolled it out to 100% today, so everyone should have it now. And I've updated some of the marketing page, not all of it, to be more agent forward. So, hey, we were just talking about you and your Swiss chocolate on the show this morning. Yeah, 3.2 to 5.4, a lot happened. Boy, the stream is really behind for me. I wonder how far it is for you. I wonder how I'm still not used to restream. Anyway, all right, here's the new solo. I added this agents tab over here so people could see that. And then I changed the whole positioning to be agentic development environment. I think that's more appropriate. I still need to update that one. I did update all of these, and then I need to get some more drawings done here. But I'm pretty happy with this, actually. Anyway, that's not what we're doing today. What are we doing today? we're actually going to use Solo because this is where I work now. So I need some more upbeat music. What do y'all think about music? I don't like necessarily when people play music on their stream because I want to listen to my own music. How do you all feel about that? Does that bother you? I wonder. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna work on a bunch of stuff. We're gonna build. So I'm working on this other app called Loadout that allows you to sync all of your skills and MCPs and stuff across the different tools. Kind of like Skills SH, but a little bit better, if I may be so bold. Hey, John. The goal here is that you can browse these registries, which I think I need to rename to like marketplaces or something. And it provides all the skills here. And then you can just say, you know what? I want to install Corey Haynes's A/B test into 5 active tools. Okay, well, there's our first task. That doesn't actually work. But you can... Oh, cool. Something's broken. That's good. Plugins are a little confusing to me because a registry could have many plugins and a plugin basically defines many skills. It could define more, but it's not terribly clear to me what it does. But then the goal is we could notify you about updates. And that's the thing I'm missing right now. Hey, Coding with RK, Errand. That's the thing I'm missing right now is when somebody pushes an update to one of their skills, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to run skills SH or skills npx skills all the time? That feels annoying to me. So I don't want to do that. So in theory, this app will handle everything for you. In theory. So we're going to do that. We're also... What was I going to do on solo term? I don't remember what I was going to do. On faster, we need to start this guy. I need to build out on faster.dev a kind of like a non-series focused series, if that makes sense. Basically, my Siri just activated. Basically, I need a way to show videos. Hey, Brayden. I need a way to show videos across. I have a new design coming for this. So like right here, video series, that's fine. But I'm not going to be doing, given the nature of AI, I'm not going to be doing as many discrete series. Like I'll do Claude tips and tricks, MCP. I'll do a few focused ones. But I think I need like a field notes section at the top. And I got to figure out how to do that. So we got to do that. And then I think this OG image is wrong. We might need to fix that as well. But first, let's start with Codex up here. Hey, this is cool. I built this. This is cool. It's the first time I'm using it on stream like this. I expect we're going to run into a lot of problems with this. And the good news is we can just fix it. This is the released version, so we won't see the fixes applied immediately, but that's okay. Oh man, it looks like the video is blinking out. So I'm running my video. The way I'm doing this now, and I may have overcomplicated it, which is something I love to do. I've got HDMI coming out of my MacBook into, blinked out again, into a Blackmagic splitter, and then it runs into my closet on the streaming computer and then into my monitor so that I can actually see it here. And I'm curious if it blinks out for y'all. What MacBook do you recommend for Docker? I have no idea. Just get a good one. Hey, Solo. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so what are we going to do on Loadout? So the first thing, yeah, see, it blinked out. I just saw it blink out on you guys. I've also got to figure out how to get the stream latency down because I feel like it's like 15 or 30 seconds, which is not ideal. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be fine for today. I'll get better at it. All right. So first of all, deactivate codecs. Yes, deactivate. So that should be removing all the symlinks. And it does. That's good. Activate codecs. Activate and add none. Okay, that's good. All right, let's start at the registry level. This needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to V0. I am working on an app to manage agent skills locally. And hey, Tessa. Hey, Josh. Hey, Robin. Oh, that's all going to get captured in the freaking speech to text. That's okay. I'm building an app to capture or manage agent skills locally. And this is what the registry overview looks like. And it looks really bad. So I'd like you to clean this up and give it a little more hierarchy because the structure is not very good. Yeah, I need to do, there's the hey Tessa. I don't know if I can switch to, low latency mode while I'm streaming. Agent skills. So like if you, where would I go? There are a bunch of skills actually. Okay, if that blinking doesn't stop, I'm going to have to restart the stream. This is an agent skill. This is the Open Agent Skills ecosystem. And it lists a lot of skills you can install that your agent will then pick up. And this is nice because like Microsoft comes out with their own skills and Anthropic has their own skills. It just gives your agent a little more power, but they're hard to keep up to date. The ecosystem isn't quite evolved yet. And so I'm going to try to build a free little desktop tool that will help manage that. All right, so next time I got to do low latency in Streamlabs, and I've got to figure out this HDMI blink out issue because that's driving me crazy. Oh, really? You haven't noticed anything? Wonder if that's just OBS doing it, but the stream is going out fine? Surely not. Is anybody else noticing it like blink to black? All right. This looks okay. Let's try this. Let's make this a little bigger. And then can we make that a little smaller? Hey, that worked. You can see the blinking, yeah. Yeah. I wonder what that is. I don't think that would be OBS. Let me just, how about this? How about I just unplug and replug? All right, we'll see if that works. All right, so this is what V0 did. I don't hate this. It's a little bubbly for my liking. It's a little boxy. But it is certainly better than whatever this is. See, this is just a disaster. This is better. Oh, guys, this is still blinking. I don't know what that is. I don't get that when I'm recording. Man, I'm sorry. That's really frustrating. Captures my attention. Bad HDMI? Maybe. Maybe. I think I have more HDMI. This is an Anchor HDMI. This is probably pretty good. Problem is there's a lot of things in the chain here. I do prefer light mode, actually. I prefer it quite a bit. So let me just replace one HDMI and see if that fixes it. It could be, well, it's still happening. It could be a bad SDI cable. I'm going to try one more thing. And if this doesn't work, we might have to stop because it's blinking and it's driving me crazy. Let me switch the SDI cable. Okay. Did that do it? Did that do it? All right, so I switched the HDMI, one of two. That didn't work. Now I'm switching the SDI, and it appears stable so far. Maybe. I think we might be good. All right, we got to find one song to loop. And I think it's going to be Love Somebody by Friendship. I'm going to put that on infinite loop. Looks good to me. Me too, Dennis. Me too. All right, so let's try this. How do I get my sidebar back? Can you make the corners a little less rounded and decrease the padding a little bit? Yeah, I don't want you to hear my music, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I feel like that's annoying when people play their own music. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, so now we got to get to work, man. Let's see. Okay. I don't believe. So MCP config and skills have different. The MCP tab and the MCP configs tab and the skills tab appear to be sharing the same shell, but the button treatments are quite a bit different. The buttons on MCP configs are small, and the button on skills is big. I prefer the size of the skills one, but we need to centralize that into a common shell or component so that we're not introducing drift in the future. I am using Monologue as my voice chat, or as my speech to text. Looping the same song. Ellis, what setup are you talking about? Are you talking about my streaming setup, or are you talking about my agentic setup? All right, let's see. Did you finish? No, you're still working. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what Codex says. The drift is real. Hard codes. Yep. I believe you. That drift is real. All right, let's come over here. Start with Codex. I believe we have done. I believe we've done some product research on adding field notes. Can you look in the agents folder and see if we have any active plans over there for adding field notes to the Faster website? Streaming setup. I have not done a video on it. I have a MacBook Pro in here that I'm working on, and I have a Mac Studio in the closet that I'm streaming from. So from out here, I run this microphone over, what is that, XLR to a Focusrite in the back that plugs into the Mac Studio. And this monitor to my right is also being mirrored via SDI, formerly a bad SDI cable. Now it's a good SDI cable. It's being mirrored to that Mac Studio in the back as well. And then I have a Stream Deck out here that is connected via the network to that Mac Studio. So I can do something like this. Look at that. That's cool, huh? Not bad. Pretty cool. I think I can hide it too. Yeah. It's kind of cool. So I'm pumped about that. I can also switch if I were to do this button. Whoa. Pretty cool. Not bad. I can do main desktop. I can blur the desktop. It's pretty cool. That's fun. Okay, there's an active plan at field notes. Yeah, hell yeah, indeed. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I'm going to try something in solo. I don't like this terminal. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to try decreasing. The terminal in solo is like the main thing, and it's the most frustrating thing. So I'm going to decrease the letter spacing. That feels better. Yeah, I know. I hope the resolution's not good enough to pick them out. No, I rarely see the back of my own head. Maybe I'll increase that by a bit. And then I want to increase the font weight. Hey, look at that. Whoa. Codex is done over in the loadout. Look, and it added the... Yes! It added the little blue dot. It's working. Okay, that feels better to me. See? Oh, it just scrolled. Okay. Oof, that's a little too bold. Don't like that. Let's drop that down to 400. Oh, I want JetBrains mono. That's why. That's why it looks so wonky. Okay, that looks better. It is interesting, however, that redrawing the terminal made it scroll. Not great. Not terrible. Okay, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm customizing the thing that I built for me. Yeah, see, look. It redraws what happens when I change the terminal. I think it redraws the whole buffer. All right, that's bad. We got to fix that. That's bad. New codex agent over here. When I change the font, when I change just like the line height in my settings, and then I go back to a codex tab, it appears to like have redrawn itself, such that part of the UI appears to have been overwritten. I've attached a screenshot. It scrolls like the chat to the very top, and it appears to overwrite part of the previous buffer. How are we handling redrawing the buffer when a user changes their font settings for the terminal? Because I super don't remember that. Okay. We want faster. I'm gonna decrease. Those are all running, so I don't need to see them right now. This is a good app. This is a good app. All right, codex. See, it messed that one up. All right, field notes. Got to go outside. You don't have to go outside. You can stay inside forever. Yep. All right, we need to start building this. So why don't you put together why don't you start putting together a data model plan for how we're going to add this in? I think we could piggyback off of series, but I'm loath to have a specific, like a special code path for a series that then we have to check all over the rest of the app. So that part makes me nervous. But a series is already pretty well set up and well defined for the container for a bunch of videos. So we need to come up with the data model first. Yeah, I just don't know. All right, what do we got? Hey, you want to use this with Claude? Yes, do. Please do. This is how I make software. Right here, you're looking at it. I do not write code by hand anymore. I still review code occasionally, but I do not. I haven't written code by hand in quite some time. How'd you get your weekly token limit in status line? I believe, let's see. I don't know that I have my weekly in there. I don't think I have my weekly. I think that's just session. In Codex, I have my weekly. You can ask your agent to customize your status line. Claude does not make the weekly one available very easily. I have written another. Oh man. So I don't know. That didn't catch my attention. That did not catch my attention. Hey, TJ. All right, let's see. I want to use this with Claude. Hell yeah. News for when Solo will be available for Linux. I'm very scared of Linux, to be honest with you, because there's like a million different ways to distribute apps. And so that makes me really nervous. So you Linux heads, Christopher and Ryan B, how, because I know that like Flatpak is a thing. How am I supposed to distribute this for Linux? So you tell me that. Have Cloud write developer diary entries to track token usage. Nice. I like that. I have, this will be weird because I'm going to like CD out of this. Can I do Z here? This is good. This is a good app. This is a good app. See, and I don't know that clearing that notification should clear the bell. It's kind of like I just want the notification to go away, but it is tied to the little bell over here. All right, we'll keep going. Cargo. So I have this little tool that I built that that checks. Oh, look at that cursor hopping around. That is technically correct, but really bad to watch. Why would that be happening? So this little agent usage tool will go into Claude Codex and Gemini and pull my stats. There's an open source one, but it uses your Anthropic token to make a request to an unlisted API, and that just makes me incredibly nervous. And so what this one does is it uses the actual CLIs on your system to interrogate your usage. So there we go. Claude current session. It didn't pull weekly. Codex 5-hour weekly. So I'm good for quite some time. I've got Codex weekly. Oh, I just reset yesterday or Friday maybe. So I'm good there. All right. Faster dev, bell, click on it, boom. The recommendation is not a special series. That's fine with me. Field note model, that's fine with me. I can distribute an app, like a full-on app via NPM for Linux? Really? Let me finish reading this. Field notes. So I'm trying to add a new series type, I guess, to faster. Field notes ID, yes, that seems right. Field note tag, that seems right. Videos is source of truth for title, description, summary, thumbnail protection, release, and playback. That seems right. That all seems right to me. All right, with that in mind, begin creating an implementation plan, but don't start writing yet. That was my question. What? You can distribute a full Linux app via NPM? All right, what did Codex find? All right, if the terminal is still mounted, handled as a live redraw, not as a terminal recreation. The active pane watches a font key, yes. Applies the new metrics, publishes. We do an Atlas clear, which I thought should fix it. So when you go back to the Codex terminal, we're not redrawing the xterm buffer. We create a fresh terminal, start streaming again. I don't know if that is correct. This is an interesting question. So, does your thesis hold if I click away from the wonky terminal and then I come back and it's still bad? So let's say I've closed settings out, I click on a terminal, and then I go back to the one that was previously wonky and it remains wonky. Does that update your thesis at all? I don't know what to do with these notifications. It is helpful for me to see this, because now I know that over and faster, I can go, like, Codex is ringing a bell and it says, hey, you can come back over here. But that is right where I'm typing. So maybe these need to function more as notifications and be in the top right as opposed to toasts in the bottom right, because the top right is usually free space. All right, let's see. Couple of REST apps are distributed via NPM, lowered friction, skip the whole snap. That's the thing. Snap, Flatpak, AUR, APT, Pacman. See, that's the part that freaks me out about distributing to Linux. I need to get it built on Linux first. All right, let's hop over here. Write the plan out here so I can see it. Top right, yeah, I think so. I think that's got to change. All right, so this is the one that got all wonky. Oh, this is the one that cleaned up. Codex app is REST distributed via NPM. Huh. I mean, it's fine with me. Like, the download is totally ungated, so I don't need to, like, protect it. Yes, one term does not dispose the old session. We intentionally preserve what changes. The settings path triggered it. Thesis can still hold, but the more precise thesis is, we're ending up with a bad, yeah. I'm telling you, man, these xterm terminals, they're a lot. So, temporary raster atlas redraw glitch, less likely. Reattach does force an atlas rebase path. All right. Can you trace that first post settings rehydrate path and check that? Because the preservation logic makes sense to me, but we need to check the post settings rehydrate and see if there's any sort of like missing guard there, or maybe a race condition. And we need to add that to, if you find something, we need to add that to our state machine and to the fuzz test to make sure that we don't regress on that. How much do I spend on tokens? So right now I'm subscribed to Codex, Claude twice, and Gemini. So I think that's $800 a month. But remember, this is work money. Like, I'm not personally spending that much. It's a write-off. All right, centralized header. So did this? Hey, that looks much better. Okay. Cool, that looks much better. Can you audit the rest of the tabs and make sure that we are not doing ad hoc styling and we are using the components appropriately? Okay. All right, let's read this plan, my friends. Schema and model. Add field notes, field note tags, field note tag pivot, yes. Introduce field note and field note tag plus video field note as a relationship, yes. Adds a morph map entry, correct. Add a dedicated feed for notes, wire it into, yes. Update feed data builder, yes. Type equal notes, correct. Exclude note-backed videos from generic standalone video, that is correct. Okay, public notes experience. Add a field note controller and routes for notes, note slug. Yes, correct. Feature tests proving that the published notes appear, unpublished notes do not. Note-backed videos are not duplicated. Yes, that's good. Add a filament field note resource. Reject any video already attached to a series. Project status update or another field note, correct. Keep the home page changes out. That's fine with me. Foundation, feed, public. Protection can stay per note by inheriting video protection. Fine. Fine. Slugs should auto-generate, but remain editable. Fine. Yeah, baby. All right, let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip. We are Mr. MC Lebowski. Yes, this is Solo. We're working inside of Solo. We happen to also be working on Solo, which is kind of meta. We're also working on another app called Loadout. There we go. There we go. And this is the Loadout app right here. This is another Tari application. So it's REST on the back end, React on the front. Just, you know, normal stuff. And then we're working on faster.dev as well. We're adding a field notes section to the website. So we're doing a lot of things. Now, all these terminals, I could get rid of those by sidebar, hide empty sections. That's a little bit cleaner. I do like that. All right, let's see what Solo Desktop says about. All right, I've narrowed the likely failure window to the new session bootstrap after settings closes. Attach does ensure renderer attached, repaint from store, start streaming, hydrate. Concrete missing guard. Hell yeah. I found a concrete missing guard. After a fresh session replays bytes from output store, perform hydration treats that reconstructed buffer the same as a preserved live buffer. On the first same run startup hydrate, it can skip. Oh, you're already fixing it. I'm still reading. It can skip the reset replay path and only flush a delta, which is wrong if the store snapshot and backend snapshot don't line up exactly. God, look at this. Look at this. This is why we love state machines. Everything is state machine. A buffer rebuilt from output store is being treated like a preserved live buffer on the first same run startup hydrate. I'm patching that by tracking authoritative hydration still pending after a non-empty store replay. Look at this. Render lifecycle state machine. Hell yeah. I know you're not a big React guy because of foot guns. Correct. Do you find that AI does not have issues with React foot guns? It super does. It massively does. And it is still, even with AI, still kind of a nightmare to work with React. But if you give it good guardrails, including stuff like never, ever, ever use server actions or server components, your foot guns go way down. And you can add a bunch of ESLint rules to make sure that your memos are right or whatever. I don't know how you keep track of all the projects. Andy, neither do I. Just caffeine and nicotine, I guess. I see React and TypeScript. Aaron is a different man. Correct. It's weird, isn't it? What's the difference between terminals and command? Commands are your long-running dev stack that Solo manages for you. So, like, if I wanted to run the queue worker here, I can just hit play, and if the queue worker crashes, Solo will restart it. If I need to spin up a project, I can just hit. Well, that one stopped. I can just hit the play button. And all of my auto starting commands, which would be like npm run dev, tail the logs, whatever, those would all auto start. So commands are your stack and terminals are just like mess around. All right. I found a real missing guard. Yep, we already covered that. Yep, we already covered that. I added state machine coverage plus unit and fuzz coverage. Fuzz testing, so fun. Stale window. All right, cool. Way to go, my dude. Nice. Are there any other tests we need to add? Man, if y'all aren't listening to the same song over and over and over, you are really missing out. You got to listen to one song for like 7 hours to really know productivity. All right. Are there any other tests we need to add? Cool. Now, let's try this. Let's try Command E. See, I'm not in love, I'll be honest. This is the jump to palette. So we've got Command K, which is the actions palette. We've got Command E, which is the jump to. We've got Command P, which is actions. So I can rename this codex session, for example. I'm not in love with the styling of this. It looks a little basic, if I'm being honest. But that I think that's going to be a Wilking concern. All right, no additional blockers, current, yep. I'd add a no-op confirmation. We don't need more fuzz work. Yeah, add the no-op and the integration test, please. Okay, cool. You're still working. All right, had 2 real component usage bugs. Sync enable, sync button, hand-rolled table header shells, yes. Yes, no unresolved top-level shell, drift. All right. What's the work tree look like? How much, what's the git status? I think we might have a ton of stuff uncommitted here. All right, you are working on adding, let's see what you're doing. Scroll back feels good. Getting a lot of scroll back. That's good. Feels good to use. Okay. Splitting the edit into foreign ID, unique, constrained, cascade. Yeah, probably that's correct. Order, that's fine. Cascade on delete for what? Field note tag. Yeah, that's fine. All right, here's the real model. Booted. Kind of a goofy pattern there. To assign a static function to a variable, and then to use that in the saved and deleted. A little bizarre to me. A little bizarre. We'll let it ride for now. Feedable, yes. Published. Okay, so feedable is just deferring to published. I'm fine with that. For it to be published, published must be in the past, and the underlying video must be released. That's correct. Should be in feed. Published at, you could probably get away with using a null coalescing there, but that's fine. If the clanker wants it, the clanker can have it. All right, should be in feed. It's got to be released. Yeah, I like that. Feed timestamp, publish that. Yep. Route key is slug, correct. Video tags. Okay, that looks good. Now, field note factory. Don't really care about the factory, if I'm being honest. Field note tag factory. Don't really care about that. Always, 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 always have a morph map. And so it's updating the morph map right here. Correct. Good job. I'm extending it slightly. Oh, it's using, oh man. That's frustrating. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if scroll jumped for me. How about dangerously skip permissions? All right, so let's pause our code review for a second. You can, if I wanted to, I don't know what happens if I edit it live. You can add your own flags here. So you could create you could create Claude, and then like, if I were to do Claude danger, it's just Claude dangerously. I've never actually tried this, so hopefully this works. Permissions. It is auto detect. So Claude danger is now a tool. So if I were to come over here, look, new Claude danger agent. Boom, bypass permissions. That's cool. So if you wanted, and I don't know that you would really want to do this, you could add like Claude Opus, Claude Haiku, Gemini 3.1 Flash, if you didn't want to do the model switching inside of here, because of course you can always do that here. So you can add as many agents as you want. You can even add ones that I don't support, because you could do just like whatever. What's one that I don't support? Klein, maybe? You could just type Klein, and as long as it's runnable, you got a new agent. See, now this is nice though. Look, I'm seeing 2 terminals are ready, or 2 agents are ready for my attention. That is nice. I just don't think it's quite right. Cloud danger, that's fine. I'll keep you. And now I want to close you, stop and close. I can close you, stop and close. Same bug. See, it like overwrote itself, which is not great. If I clear this, what's outstanding? That's not committed. So I got to figure out that. Hopefully that state machine fix will fix it. All right. What are you doing? You're writing the filament panel. See, I'm losing something there. I got to fix that almost immediately. Boy, you love to write code. I noticed an overview page. Yeah, that's on all subgroups. You can click on commands and see what's running. You can click on agents. It's kind of nice. I kind of like that page. See, we're getting that partial new notes, feed filter, timeline rendering. Man, having everything locked down with like real types is pretty good. That makes the clankers a lot happier. It sure did. It's a full ADE now. Yeah, see, all this stuff, this is the thing that I don't understand about Ralph Wiggum loops is like, this looks fine, but I'm just going to have to look at it in the browser to see if it's actually good. Yeah, this is all just front-end stuff. 2-note item. Timeline note. Timeline extends timeline base, correct. Eligible for notes, okay. A video is eligible for field notes if it's unattached or it's this video. Okay, I assume it's needing that exception for editing. That's my guess. Navigation group, navigation sort, and then there's the filament panel. Filament specific rough edges, I bet you do. Field note, saving, video ID, null. This video is already attached to another piece of content. Fantastic. Okay, you're writing a bunch of tests. That's great. All right. Nothing is staged. Everything's outstanding. Solo YAML. I don't see known unfinished. All right, cool. All right, you can commit all that, including the solo.yaml. Okay. You're still working. What are you doing? Added both tests. Okay. It seeds a fresh store replay, confirms an identical snapshot. Okay, cool. You can go ahead and commit all of those tests and that fix. Well, first, whoops. What branch are we on here? I need to add full Git support to Solo. GUI next. That's what I was afraid of. Can we take these state machine fixes to the main branch? Hello, Ryan Chandler. It was good to hang with you in EU. Just EU generally. Who knows where we were specifically? Yeah, I don't know about the agents flying blind as like a marketing copy. But Solo has an MCP server built in where agents can read output from all of, like, it can read all of this chat here. It can read what's happening on npm dev. And so if you tell it, use the Solo MCP to pull it, it can gather context from other agents or other commands or terminals or whatever, which is kind of neat. But I don't know if that marketing is entirely clear, to be honest with you. Yeah, US is going to be awesome. Loadout. Here we go. All right, cool. Now let's look at this. What do I not like about this? A lot. I don't like a lot about this. I think what we need to do first. So right now everything's installed globally. So if I install this accessibility, actually I don't think, oh, see, it does enable it, but it moved it to the very top, which is annoying. Dang, that's frustrating. The tool I'm using is use monologue. Yeah, there you go. That's the one I'm using. It's very good. No affiliation. So I guess the question is, what do I hate about this? Almost everything, but I don't know why. First of all, those headers are nowhere close to aligned with the body of the table, which is insane. I need a reminder. All right, faster's ready. So when I click on if I'm on the skills pane and I click on the check mark on the left to enable that skill in all tools, can you remind me? So for like Claude doesn't read from the user's .agents directory. It reads from .claude, which is frustrating. But like Codex reads from .agents, Gemini will read from .gemini or .agents. So can you tell me when we install something across all tools, where do those symlinks get put? Because I'm worried that if we say, let's install this in Codex, for example, and it puts it in .agents, I'm worried it's going to end up in AMP or Gemini because they read from .agents, which may be fine. We just have to make that abundantly clear to the user, or we have to use the specific vendored folders. So I need you to do an audit and see how that works currently. Faster, what do you want? Field notes are now implemented as a first-class content type instead of a disguised series. The core model lives in app models field notes, one-to-one. Xavier, is that inside of Solo? One-to-one video wrapping and tag support. The public path is live. Okay. Can you go ahead and create a seeder and just run that seeder? Don't destroy the whole database, but just run that seeder to fill up the field notes so I can go look at it. Let's try open code. Where am I? I'm in Loadout. Actually, I don't even know what files are in here. See, that's interesting. Why didn't it say terminal there? I should be able to open a new terminal there. Terminal. At agents should be a thing. Xavier, if you're hitting issues with OpenCode in Solo, let me know because it appears to be working for me there, but I'm not ruling it out. All right, stop and close. Oh, we got bit by that bug again. Dang. That scroll back bug is brutal. I got to fix that today. Yeah, but if a tool independently reads config agent skills. Oh man, I need the whole report. Can you give me that whole report again? I missed it. I wonder if this is just a codex thing, because it only seems to be happening on codex. All right, when you click the left check mark in the skills table, that tooltip is defined per tool. Yes, I need to, what's the catalog? That's what I need. Here we go. Okay, cool. So Claude, so it's all vendored. It goes into Claude, Gemini, Codex. AMP goes into config agents. This is not happening today. Can you search the web to see if AMP has its own vendored skills directory instead of the global config / agents? Dre, we're so many tokens deep. We're just ripping. All right, what else are we doing? See? I wonder if that's just a codex thing. I do love the summaries over here. Writing idempotent field note seeder, auditing loadout deployment paths, terminal session hydration tests. Okay. All right, if we're on main and all committed, you can go ahead and push. And the only reason I say that is because this does not auto deploy. Project skills are stored in .agents. User skills. Oh, AMP checks Claude as well. Man, I do like the bells. That's really helpful. I don't like them there. AMP supports. So if we want isolation, AMP can be pointed at additional directories. I think we want stricter isolation. We want stricter isolation. So can you, by default, do our symlinks in config/amp/skills? Rebase completed cleanly. Rerunning that one. Yes, that's fine. The seeder is done. Good night. Thanks for hanging. All right, I can inspect the seeded content here. So here's a question. Hey, it opened in the browser. Nice. Let's bring you over here. This is where we just tell Codex to go fix it. All right, so that is pushed. We'll see if that passes in CI. Okay. AMP defaults to AMP skills instead of coding config agent skills. That's good. Cool. You can commit that. All right, we're making some progress. Mouth blogged. Yeah, I think it's a good app. Look. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, let me switch to full. Look, desktop notification. So if you're not focused on solo, instead of doing toasts, it does desktop notifications, which is nice. We'll switch back to... All right, so that's fixed. Faster needs something. Okay. You were asking about using work trees. I was. I'd be starting a new branch work tree to reposition that toast in parallel instead of adding it to a to-do. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Sharp ideas shipped fast. Kind of a silly headline. This is fine. None of this moves me, but this is fine. Did we add it to the homepage at all? Come on, wake up. Adding fallbacks for every single thing. Well, I try to catch it so that it doesn't add fallbacks. We did not add it to the homepage that I'm aware of. Okay. And if I click on it, it takes me to... I mean, this is uninspiring. I also have a new design that is coming. So the question is, how much do I worry about the design right now? Let's try this. Gemini. Takes 1,000 years to boot. We just completed the /notes endpoint or route page, whatever. And right now the videos or the grid is quite large. The tags on the top are fine, but the grid is quite large. You can't see very much content all at once. And it's a little uninspiring, if I'm being honest. So also we're using all caps as a treatment, like a UI treatment. We never use all caps as a UI treatment, nor do we use letter spacing as a UI treatment. So I need you to redesign this page to be a little tighter and more information dense. Yeah, 962 megs for Gemini. Give me a break. Also, this is not a solo thing, this flicker. That happens in Ghosty too. It's so terrible. Gemini is a mess. God, it's so hard to watch. Now we're up to 1 gigabyte of memory. Personal website redesign is coming along as every personal website redesign. It is stalled. Let's see. Can you monitor the GitHub actions? Oof. Didn't get a refresh there. See, God dang it. Got a few things to fix on the terminal. Let's see. Make sure I don't leak anything here. All right, so this is solo desktop. So we'll see if that, so the thing is, we're gonna see if that test passes CI, but we don't know if the test fixes the problem. And that's what I don't understand about Ralph Wiggum. How are you supposed to know if it actually works if you don't verify? Like, maybe it wrote tests for something that doesn't matter. Wouldn't be the first time. Pull request, universal chat runtime. That's a little secret. I mean, that's already tighter. Ugh, green, what are you doing? Don't use monospace as a UI treatment either. Let's tighten up the line heights on those descriptions, and the green outline or green border when we hover is insane. So let's remove that. Also, look around at, for example, the feed or the project log or maybe the series pages and see if there are pre-existing UI components we can pull from so that we don't implement the same thing twice. See, this is an Atlas problem right there. That Y being too low. Oh, look. That's interesting. WebGL, man. WebGL's tough. Okay. rest check's taking forever. Why? I guess everybody's waiting on rest check. That's too bad. Web, good luck. Good luck, web. What does web good luck mean? I have no idea what that means. Thanks, Dre. Web, good luck to you. All right. Okay, we got rid of the mono treatment. I don't know why you're infinitely loading. Has anyone upgraded to Inertia v3 yet? Still looks. It's hard to tell without the. It's hard to tell without the thumbnails how balanced this is going to be. Doesn't feel super balanced to me. So right here, I'm going to rename this one to Notes Redesign. Hey, look at that. I've redesigned. Yes, you have. Let's decrease the bottom margin between the video thumbnail and the meta information. So like the release date and the workflow. I'm sorry, the release date and the tag, which currently says workflow. And then let's make the video title a little bit smaller. The font size, I don't know if we're using 2XL there, but bring it down by 1 tailwind stop. And let's see how that looks. That might help tighten it up a little bit. I tried Inertia, gave some issues with my Svelte app. Yeah, I imagine in about 2 weeks it's going to be perfect. Got an AI code while watching someone AI code. I agree. See this goddamn thing? It used arbitrary tailwind units. I hate when it does that. Code all day and watch other dudes code. Not a lot wrong with that, my friend. That already feels tighter. Boy, is that just like a breakpoint issue? It is. No, this page needs a lot of work. This page looks okay. Tags seem to work. Let's see what the back end looks like. Hey, it's Aprad, which I think is your first name. It's good seeing you. Codex Cloud Gemini, you better believe it. All right, where did they put content? Video, series videos. Does anyone see notes on here? I don't see notes on here at all. I wonder if videos... I don't see... This is .test, so this should have it. Where in the filament panel should I be seeing field notes? Because I am looking under the video group and I only see 3. I see series videos and Cloudflare videos. I'm looking in the content group and I don't see it there. It's not in the projects group and it is not in the billing or users group. My thought is that this should be under video. So we'll have like series, field notes, then videos, then Cloudflare videos. but I'm open to other options. But regardless, we need to see it. Hey, Philippe. How we doing? I'm using monologue for speech to text, and the flashing on Gemini is unbearable. I agree. Fully agree. All right. All right, so all right, we need to start planning we need to start planning a bigger feature, and that is currently all skills are globally installed. I would like to add a picker, probably in probably at the top of the sidebar. We need to add like a picker, and I believe we have Shadcn, so let's use theirs. And we need to be able to toggle between global installs and individual projects. I believe we have a doc on some of the thinking here. Can you check in the agents, probably agents active folder? I think we've already done some research here. See if you can find it. I recorded a video on doing an interview me about this, and then I don't know if I actually saved it. GPT-4 high instead of X high? Nah. Carpathy says X high, or maybe that was Brockman. All right, did we save that? I don't know if we did. Fixing filament. All right. Ah, there you go. Field Notes and Cloudflare are both using sort 3. Oh, why? That feels fragile. Oof, I don't like that at all. I feel like Filament should have caught that, but regardless, I don't like that as a pattern. Sharing the same navigation sort. Ugh. Can you use Boost to check the filament docs and see if there's a better way? Because that feels really fragile to me, to just rely on these standalone magic numbers instead of having something a little more robust. Can you see if that's the blessed way to do this? I can't imagine that it is. There it is, though. Field Notes. Yeah, seems fine to me. Inherited from video. Yeah, that's fine. I need the ability to add new tags. Let's see if this finished. Still on Rust check? That can't be right. No, it's not. It's freaking GitHub. Oh, give me a break. Okay, cool. So we are testing on Linux, testing on Mac OS, and we're doing our end-to-end spec testing. Cool. Ah, look. Ah, Codex. It's ready. Hey, good. Filament is criminally good. Its API surface area is enormous, which has scared me off in the past. But now that I have AI, I don't really care. Doesn't really matter to me. All right, here we go. Manual project list stored by toolbox, no auto discovery. Agreed. Sidebar scope defaulting to global. Agreed. Skills, rules, and MCP respond to scope changes. The rest of the tabs stay global. Agreed. Because your registries are installed at a global level. Yeah, Tessa, it is just like the perfect admin panel. Yeah, project views should show the effective result, including inherited global installs. This is quite the data model. Quagmire, that's what I was looking for. The sidebar has obvious insertion point for picker, has no selected scope. Yep. Yes, we have a solid product spec for this. Good. All right, so I already used the interview me skill to scope it out. All right, can you go ahead and begin generating a plan for this? Don't update the project scope.md. Just create the plan and write it out here so I can review it. Also, I feel like if I just clicked on that notification, it should just go away. Like I clicked on it and it navigated me where I wanted to go, and then it counted down, which seems redundant. That seems stupid. All right, here we go. All right, it's not a hack. Oh, dude. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this? Yeah, 78 unread texts, 38 slacks. It's not great. Yeah, that's what we want. If you want less fragility, the documented upgrade path is a navigation method in the panel provider. See, this is why you got to keep your eye on the clankers. Enums are blessed for navigation groups, not item order. Keep that as a dedicated enum. Switch from passive discovery to explicit navigation. I agree. This is more robust than scattered magic. I agree. Navigation sort is acceptable and documented. However, it is better. Yeah, I agree, Christopher. I got to change that. Yep, let's do it. Yeah, that feels more robust. Let's migrate the entire filament navigation system to using that navigation method instead of the distributed navigation sort integers. Mary Perry. You can only say clanker if you're talking behind their back. You can't call them clanker directly to their robot faces. That's very hurtful. But as long as you say it behind their back, it's not a problem. So another thing I'm noticing, you see this command 1, command 2, command 3? That should only happen if you're holding the command button, but there are times when it's sticky. So like if I hit command again, see how all those went away? Now it should work where I press and hold and they pop up, which is cool if I say so myself. But sometimes they just stick around, don't they? No, they hear everything. Mary Perry, are you coming to Laracon US? Ryan. That is true. That's what we want here. Cool. All right. Who's done? Loadout is done. Hey, look at this. My goodness gracious. Okay. Plan. Keep packages global. Yes. Deployment. Scoped. Yes. Shared package cache models. Right. Great. Packages stay global. Yes, we already said that. Great. Oh, thank goodness. I'm glad you're coming, Mary Perry. Projects table. Yes. ID path. Correct. Derived display label. Don't know if I love that. Timestamp. List projects, add projects, remove projects. Should clean toolbox, created project deployments. Agreed. Add app level scope. Oh, see, those are the Star Wars I missed out on. Extend. Correct. Add the sidebar picker. Put it at the top. Correct. Use shadcn. Yes. Options should be global. All save projects and add projects. I would not add a dedicated projects tab in V1. Well, guess what? You're about to add one. Scoped primitive. Deployment scope, artifact scope. Correct. Correct. Make tool support explicit instead of inferred. Oh, yeah, that's true. Do not assume every global path can become project local by swapping the root. That is true. DB state scope aware. This is a massive refactor. But this app is not released, so it doesn't matter yet. The other thing is sometimes these CLIs will send output that is not like, it's just like decoration, and that triggers the active spinner over here because it's like, hey, I got new output, I must be working. But really it's like Claude is saying it's bamboozling or something, which is not terribly helpful. Add orphan cleanup. Scoped query instead of overloading global inventory. Yes, please. Rework the skills table around effective scope. Yep, that is true. Okay. Stage MCP after test the feature. Decisions to lock. Okay. Directory base name is fine with muted full path for now. We will need a projects table in the future, so don't preclude that in our V1 implementation, because we will shortly thereafter move to a proper first-party, first-class citizen projects table. A native folder picker is great for add project. Remember the last selected scope. Yes, that's great. I don't understand what you mean by support policy. I don't understand unsupported tool artifact combinations explicitly instead of pretending. Can you explain that one further? I don't actually have any idea what that means. Oh, this one was still working. It's this one that has no active. Okay, so this has no active task in progress, but what is it sending that triggers? It's sending some sort of, probably like ANSI codes or something. That's triggering the spinner. All right. Filament stocks support. Yep. Sidebar centralized. Yep. It loves to add regression tests. That's fine. I don't care. I mean this. For each tool, artifact scope combination, so that would be AMP, SEO skill, project, we should explicitly decide whether project local deployment is actually supportive instead of assuming every global path has a valid project local equivalent. Oh, okay, I see. Hey, your username always throws me off, but I believe that's Francisco. Let's see. Yes, that is Francisco. Francisco Madeira. All right. Don't pretend. Okay. Yeah, let's amend our catalog RS to let's amend our catalog RS to note the global install path and, if supported, a like templated project path. So in our catalog RS or wherever we're storing it, we can do like some sort of interpolation that's like project root and then /.amp or whatever. And that way we know up front if a tool supports local installations. Hey, Philippe. The name of this app is Solo, and you can find it at soloterm.com, which is in the stream template. The name of the app that I'm building with Solo is called Loadout, and that is this app back here. This guy right here. Hey, Rasmicky. I'm officially in my Unk era. All right, let's see. The catalog should store explicit per scope templates, not derive. Yeah, that's what I said. Come on, hey. Come on, that's what I said. Some are not. So path root home project, path template root. Yeah, that's what I freaking said. Yep, okay. That's right. Fine. Yep, that looks good. Can you write out your full implementation plan? Okay. I think this one is good. Hey, look at that. So we don't know if we actually fixed the problem because we haven't built Solo. We haven't built the dev version of Solo, but we know that we added a missing transition in the state machine and we added new fuzz tests, and those both passed CI. So that's good. Whether we fixed the issue we were experiencing is still somewhat of an open question. But you know, at least it's somewhat tighter now. So that's good. All right. And do field notes remain? Field notes remain. Okay. So we're good there. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right. I'm still unmoved by this UI, but that is okay. I'm okay with that for now. And this UI is pretty bad, but that's okay. Ah, that makes sense. I always wondered what your handle was. Okay, let's. Oh, look at that. We get little notifications too. It's working. All right. Who rang a bell? You rang a bell. I do like the ringing of the bell being turned into notifications. I just really like that. Yep, that seems good. So we're adding projects to Loadout here. App level scope, state, yeah. Sidebar, yeah. Tool catalog and code scope support explicitly, yeah. Path template resolver, seems right. Make deployment scope aware in the database, yes, definitely. Do not overload current global, correct. Correct. If it has no project template, project install is disabled. Correct. Never silently fall back to global. Correct. For multi-tool actions, apply to supported tools. Yep. This is especially important for MCP where support is uneven. I agree. It's at the footer of the video, soloterm.com. That's this app that we're looking at. Loadout, the one I'm building right here, this guy is not released anywhere. Yeah, let me kick this guy off. No dedicated projects view. Ugh, fine. No presets. No, we're not going to do that. Nah, dog. You're just going to start coding. We're not going to turn it into any more plans. That looks good. Go ahead and start coding. Boom. We've done enough planning, my friend. All right. Hey, Aaron. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you, Kimbo. That's very kind. Could you give an overview on what you're working? You know what? Let's try this. I want to try something. So I'm going to say adding field notes to faster.dev/building loadout. We'll say building new app / check out soloterm.com. Now, if I copy that, all right, I copied that. And if I hit this button on my Stream Deck, nothing happens. Hey, it worked. Ah! Look, it updated the Chrome around my video down at the bottom there. Adding field notes to faster.dev, building a new app, check out soloterm.com. It worked. So I have a oh, you know what? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. We could switch this to, oh, what am I doing? I'm freaking out. Ah! Whoa! Look. So I have a button on this Stream Deck right here that takes whatever's in my clipboard and posts it to the stream template, which is I think like a Nuxt project that's running. So main desktop. There we go. Cool. So it takes whatever's in my clipboard, posts it to an API that's running in the closet, running this stream setup, and it puts that in the footer of the stream overlay. So there you go. All right, tech stacks. This one is Rust and React and TanStack and Zoostand. So this is a Tari app. This one is Laravel. So Laravel on the back end, React on the front end, Filament. Filament is the admin panel. So you've got all my Cloudflare videos. This is the local one, so it's all fake data. Here are all the skills you can find on faster.dev. Packages is coming. Here are all the projects, all the Stripe infrastructure. And then this app here that's also Rust and Tari and whatever. All right, who's working? Implementing project scope. You're working. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. You can commit. Come on, monologue. It does this every now and then. Yeah, this is, I believe, this is an IKEA like kitchen island, not a desk. So that's why it's so enormous. All right, yeah, that looks good. You can commit. What? Oh man, I'm on the wrong branch. No. Darn. I'm gonna have to have it cherry pick that one off. Oh, do. Do I care? Do I care? Nah, I think we're just gonna let her rip. We're just gonna YOLO. Okay, cool. So that finished. Oh, I don't want to get too far ahead without actually manually testing the thing. Does that make me old that I want to actually test things? All right, faster. What are you doing? Unrelated solo out of the commit. No, you can commit solo. I don't care. Oh, I think I probably need to work on split panes next. Rust because Tari, yes. So I built this one in Rust because the backend handling for, oops, looks like somebody just rebuilt Loadout and they killed it. The backend handling for managing multiple processes, which is basically all Solo does. I mean, to be reductive, all it does is manage a million different running processes. The ecosystem was better in Rust for all the like PTY handling, the buffering, all of that. It was more robust than it was in Node, and so I went with Tari instead of Electron. All right. We currently have, we haven't displayed the field notes at all on the homepage. So I need you to take a look at the existing structure of the homepage and the UI components that we use there. And let's slot in field notes as well. Let's put them right below series. And let's show, I believe the series shows in a grid. The series shows in a grid based on viewport size. Let's follow that same grid for field notes videos. So in a wide browser, for example, if we're showing 4 series cards, we should show 4 field notes videos. Let's limit the number of field notes videos we ever show to the most recent 8, but match the grid of the series cards. And if we need to extract that to either like a variable or a proper UI component, we can. I don't want those grids to drift over time. I find that Gemini is pretty good, besides this godforsaken flickering. I find that Gemini is pretty good with UI stuff. All right, so you are done. So we've got field notes there. You're still working. You're flickering the hell out. All right. What have you done? You're finished. Is there any onesie twosie I could do here? Yeah, I just saw Electrobun as well. I'd be curious to let it bake a little longer, but it does look cool. All right. We can just blindly YOLO some stuff here. Right now, the toasts pop up in the bottom right-hand corner. I would prefer if they popped up in the top right-hand corner, similar to how platform native desktop alerts show up. So instead of stacking in the bottom right, let's stack in the top right. It should be easy enough. I can test that after. Oh my goodness. It wasn't that long of a sentence. There we go. All right. I think let's close you down. You're still flickering. Do I close my eyes on purpose? You know what's funny about that? When I was a kid, okay, see, why is this skipping? That's not supposed to happen. That's weird. When I was a kid and my mom was on the phone, on the landline, of course, and we were being loud, she would always close her eyes when she was on the phone. And I guess I'm my mom now. It helps me focus. I don't know. That's interesting. I haven't really thought about that. What does the D stand for in your middle name? Daniel. Aaron Daniel Francis. If you need my mother's maiden name or my date of birth or last four of my social, just ask. I can give you those too. But it stands for Daniel. Yeah, Gemini's kind of a mess. Look at this. Codex is up to 2.4 gig memory, spiked at 130% CPU. Not great, Bob. Not great. All right, who's working? You're working. Not great. Not great. Yeah, we've got a real issue here. Sweet mom. Okay, I'm running the toast component, flip stack math. Yep. Should we run solo in solo? Should we just YOLO it and see how that works? Let's add a command. We'll say tari npm run tari dev. Don't auto start. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now it says toast anchor in the top right and stack down. Look, there's a toast right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play, and we're going to build freaking solo inside of solo. So theoretically, this will build with a different database, so it shouldn't muck everything up. But that is in theory only. Hey, Steven. All right, so Tari is building. Oh, you know what else we need to do? Goodness me, oh my. Boy, look at that, 250% for Tari build. I do kind of like having those stats handy. We need to work on the solo website as well. That's the solo loading indicator. It takes forever to load in dev because it's waiting on Vite. All right, let's hit that button. See, that's interesting. I have this button on my Stream Deck that should resize this perfectly. I wonder if Solo doesn't respond to AppleScript. That would be annoying. All right, here's the dev version of Solo. I really need to get like a dev icon, because look at this. That's insane. How am I supposed to know? All right, so in theory, we have now made it so toasts pop up in the top right. Hey, look at that. Is that the right stacking? I don't think that's the right stacking. I feel like... Oh, is Jason still here? I feel like this is the wrong geometry, like the wrong 3D. But when you hover over it, maybe that's right. Because if it were the other way and you hovered over it, it would put your most recent one at the bottom, which is insane. What do we think? What do we think, chat? Isn't that what I'm supposed to say? Am I not supposed to call you chat? What do we think, chat? I feel like that looks correct. And then they fly off the top. Yeah, they fly off the top. Okay. No, I think that feels good to me. Hey, Jesse. Chat. I think that feels right. All right, cool. Well, we fixed the toast thing. This is a nice little, I don't know if it's a hack or just a thing. But I have this DevTools area that gets compiled out when it's built for production. And it allows me to like trigger things. So I can trigger like these native sheets and just see how they look without having to like get in this weird spot where it's like, all right, well, I need to start an agent, remove an agent, and you know, here's this Solo is shutting down, but you've got processes. What do you want to do? They're not responding to SIGINT. Like, all right, I'll keep waiting. I've got my download simulator so I can see what that looks like. And then this is just some component stuff. All right, I dig. That looks insane. I wonder if that's real. Okay, you can commit those toast changes. That looks better to me. And then we need to paste that image in. I freaking love that image pasting works. I mean, obviously it had to work. Otherwise it's useless, the app is, but okay. So, oh, that's interesting. I got desktop push and in-app push at the same time. That's interesting. I am now focused in the terminal that sent the bell, but because I didn't focus away and focus back, I didn't clear the notification. That's not ideal. Can you check this update available, relaunch to update thing? I triggered this from the dev panel, so I'm not entirely sure this is the production treatment. But if it is, we need to make sure that we've got white space no wrap, flex no shrink, whatever, to make sure that these lines don't get wrapped like this. Koi, what are you building? Don't steal anything from me. All right, who's done? Codex, you're still cooking over here, man. You're just ripping away. See? That is called a WebGL Atlas corruption. I'm hitting WebGL Atlas corruption. Are there any... Oh, gosh. Are there any branches or transitions on the state machine that are untested with regards to the Atlas corruption? This is from the production app, which does not contain our most recent state machine enhancement and fuzz testing. So it's possible that we fixed this already. But I don't know if this corruption is coming from the same code path as the one we just fixed. So why don't you start by just doing some deep investigation and not writing any code quite yet. The dev panel uses the same update. So this is the shared, okay, not a separate, okay. So then great, that's wrong. Because that looks like amateur hour. That is a vibe coded mess. So embarrassment upon my household. Supercode.sh. Do I click on it? It's a competitor. What do I do? What do I do? Supercode.sh. The command center for coding agents. Oh, wow. There's a lot going on here. Oh, built on libghosty. Cool. Good for you. So libghosty is different than libghosty wasm. So if you've heard me talk about my troubles were with libghosty wasm, not libghosty. Libghosty is the real deal. The speech to text is called monologue. I just heard Solo ring a bell back there. Somebody's ready for some attention. Okay, I tightened up the production. All right, good. And you sure did. Look at that. Live reload. Thanks, Tari. That looks better. Cool. Yep, that looks better. You can commit that. See, if I'm actively working in this terminal, this blue dot should not remain. I need to work on that. The state machine itself is effectively saturated. 99.1% statements, 96.3% branches. Only uncovered lines are the impossible exhaustive default arm. Okay, so the state machine itself is fine. It's how completely terminal session drives the machine along the Atlas related paths. Okay, I buy it. All right, you keep working, my friend. That sounds good to me. Yep, that sounds good to me. Are you still cooking over here? Man, you're still going. So we need to add solo term.test. Oh, do we have docs over here? I don't think we do yet. No, open source packages. That's not quite right. Let's look at solo term.test/admin. Documentation. See, these are projects. This is not quite right. I need to add actual help docs for solo, not for these other solo related packages. Can I get away with reusing? I think I could get away with reusing. All right, soloterm.com. Add an agent. We'll start with codecs. I don't need to see all of you. Can you look through our docs setup and explain to me how the package syncing works? And can you actually also create a seeder and run it so that I can see in the browser what that looks like? Because we need to start addressing the documentation portion of this site. Oh. All right, I guess Codex is done cooking. Global installs. Oh, cool. That looks great, actually. It's a little wonky, but look at that. That actually looks awesome. Hey, that's kind of cool. I don't hate that at all. It crashed, or it's still working. It's still working. That's the problem with Tari hot reloads is it'll be working and then it just goes away. This is okay. All right. And it just keeps popping back up. All right. There we go. We're starting to see some missing test coverage. Okay. Loadout is done. All right. The terminal wide run materially changes the picture. Terminal session is 88.5%, 79%. All right, so the state machine is not the blind spot. It's saturated. Unreachable defaults. The most Atlas corruption adjacent untested path is verify and repair. A secondary gap is the dirty buffer, unchanged replay signature, fast path. Yeah. See, this is the problem. I need to use the dev app because the dev app spews a bunch of logs where the production app doesn't. And so I need to catch the Atlas problem in action. so that I can actually... This dev one is unlicensed. Okay, it's funny. Let's remove. All right, let's see if we can catch it in action. So I'm trying to get corruption to appear, but of course everything looks awesome. I don't see any corruption whatsoever. Oh, brother. You know, most of the problem I think was coming from codecs. Let me remove this guy. Codecs. Can you do an audit of this entire repo and print out whatever you find to be the main modules? I just wanted to print out a bunch of text. That's all I'm after. And so if I unfocus, switch away, switch back, that all appears to be working just fine to me. And we're maintaining almost 60 frames a second, which is good. Hey, John. I see no terminal wonkiness. Well, that might have been wonky. You can see sometimes it settles, but that's kind of expected behavior. I do have dark mode. Although Gemini doesn't seem to prefer it. Boy, neither does Codex. I wonder... Okay, Gemini caught up. Codex has not caught up. That's interesting. So if I stop this open code and start it again, it does pick up that it should be dark mode. That's interesting. So I guess switching, I'd be curious how Ghost, like if that doesn't work in Ghosty, I'm not concerned about it. But if it does work in Ghosty, I need to fix it. Now Gemini's behind again. Well, I just don't see any problems. All right, we'll keep trying. All right, you are done. Here we go. Okay, while we're waiting to reproduce it, are there any obvious failing tests you could write that could potentially capture this issue? God, that should just go away when I click on it. All right. Seed for those. So in theory, soloterm.com will have documentation for various projects. I'm wondering if I can hook into that for the actual Solo desktop documentation. So we pull it off of GitHub. Oh yeah, I definitely talk to it like it's human. Sync is triggered 2 ways. All right, so for each package, it does a temporary git repo, sparse checkout, pulls the docs folder, copies that into storage. Public docs don't read GitHub directly. That is correct. Read local. That is correct. Common mark and torchlight. Nice. Okay, so you did add a seeder. I ran seed, has 4 documentation projects. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Pretty hideous. That's okay. That's not great at all, but it's okay. This is actually one of the ones that will be featured. I mean, that looks pretty good. All right, so I need to fix the styling on this to match the rest of the site. But honestly, that's not bad. And I think I could use this. I need to change that from open source. Boy, it just does not look very good. That looks great. What is the terms, like what does the legal page look like? Privacy? Terms? I feel like that is a content heavy. I don't know if that's gonna work for docs. All right, that's fine. What do you need? Codex. God, that all looks perfect. All right, what do you say? Yes, I would add more render lifecycle machine tests first. I'd add red tests. Boy, I don't know how people who don't read what the agents are saying, I don't know how, because like all of this makes sense to me, but only because I've read months worth of the agent talking to me about it. Yes, so what we're gonna do, if I were choosing only one, forget that. You're gonna do all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's add failing tests for all 4 of those paths. Confirm that they're failing, and then we can move on to fix them after that. Yeah, I'm liking Codex a lot these days too, especially 5.4 extra high. I think that's cooking quite a bit. I think you're done. I don't think I need you anymore. Yeah, you're done. Ooh, let's check this. All right. Okay, let's check this. Let's see how you're looking. All right, install scope. The dashboard's a disaster. Hey, YouTube videos are coming back. A lot of life has happened. All right, so if I do, so those are global skills. Now, if I change to auto screen flow, hey, that's not bad. That's telling me that that is installed globally, which is correct. And if I want to, project installs currently apply to all active tools. That's not ideal. Now the add creative one is installed at the project level. Tool level project scope isn't available. See, this seems wrong. That's interesting. That is interesting. So I switched to a project level scope and I installed this fourth skill here. You can see that it thinks it correctly installed. 2 of the tool icons lit up, but all of the tooltips say project level is not available. So I think there are a couple things going on. I think our UI is perhaps drifting from the state of truth because the tool level icons did light up, but then the tooltips are saying it's not available. So we need to centralize that code path so that that drift can't happen. And then, well, let's start there. Hey, I used Tari to build Solo. So it's React on the front end, Rust on the back end. You are cooking on some new tests. How about this? You can go ahead and commit the solo.yaml. That's not what I was saying. How about this about? Can you take a look one directory up, and then in the desktop folder, there's a set of docs for the desktop app. Can you assess what is missing? I believe we don't have an underscore meta.json that defines the structure, but I want you to hop over to that directory and look to see how compatible it currently is with our doc syncing commands. Oh, you probably are done. See, why does it say working again? I don't see any output coming across the wire here. Okay, you're good. You go. Let's see what you did. What did you do? Boy, you're taking forever is what you do. Hard to tell, if I'm being honest. This viewport and not having the thumbnails is making it tough. That's passable. I mean, I've got a new design from like a proper designer coming, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's passable. I mean, it fits in, so that's good enough. All right, who's done with what? Loadout. Here we go. Good. Centralized. Gotta centralize. You always gotta centralize. I am using Monologue by the every.2 team. This removes the split code path that let a chip render. Yep. Come on, guys. One code path. Why is it so hard to learn that? All right, let's see. What does soloterm.com want? All right. So the doc syncing command relies on this meta.json. Desktop is done. The sync only verifies yeah, so I've got like 80 docs over in the desktop app that are not currently in the right shape to go on the Solo Term website. That's a big messy rewrite that I don't want to touch right now. All right, added 4 red tests. That's great. Reapplies font metrics after same epoch renderer, health repair, and Atlas rebase. Reapplies font metrics after a waiter forces Atlas rebase through a shared settle. Retries deferred font redraw. Reports hidden DPR drift. The deferred font redraw. We love some failing tests. Okay, you can begin implementing production fixes for those. All right, who's next? I think, God, that codex thing. And Gemini, we lost the cursor here. Okay, you can go ahead and commit all of that. I think we're getting close to calling it a day. Oh, there's one. Look at that. Do you see that queue? How the queue is off the baseline? That's a wonky. We don't want a wonky. And if I highlight it, it's back on the baseline. And if I click away, that's called a wonky WebGL, baby. That's what we're trying to fix. No easy days. Even with AI, it's just suffering. How do I decide? It's a good question. Look at all the wonky. Does redraw terminal do anything anymore? I don't think it does. Look at that, so wonky. It's crazy. How do I decide? I have to be interested in it. That's the first thing. Especially for, like, if I'm going to teach something, I have to have really used it and have, like, opinions on it. For building products, I don't really know. There's a school of thought that's like, just build one thing and keep pushing until it works, which is reasonable. And then there's a school of thought that's like, try a bunch of stuff and see if anything sticks. I think very serious people would have you believe that try a bunch of stuff is the wrong path. I think there's some merit to that. Like, if you're trying a bunch of crappy things, like, that's never going to work. Like, I one time saw somebody try to do a product using AI that would generate folder structures for you. Not like, it was like you go to their website and you describe what folder structure you want, and then you can download a zip file that has a bunch of empty folders in it. It's like, brother, that's a terrible idea. So I don't think trying a bunch of stuff like that is a good idea, but I kind of do think trying a bunch of stuff is a good idea, because you get through a bunch of crappy ideas, hopefully, and find a good one. Now look at that low asterisk. That is even a different character. It's a 5-point versus a 6-point. WebGL, man. It's tough. Nowadays, I'm trying to keep everything pointed the same direction. So all content, products, projects, I want them all to feed everything. So like right now, we're on a live stream working on faster.dev Solo. I'm using Solo. People are asking, what's that app? This one started as an open source project for Laravel only. It started as like a process manager for Laravel projects. And then when the AI boom hit, I found myself having tons of open tabs across all kinds of projects. And so I reimagined the open source TUI as a desktop GUI that's not Laravel specific. Which goes back to my point of like, try a bunch of stuff, because Solo, the Laravel library, actually worked and people liked it. And so I kind of had a little bit of base to build on. Man, that is just so wonky. No public docs about the MCP server yet. That's what I'm trying to get. I have docs written, but they're not public yet, so I'm trying to get that up there. Okay. You committed everything. Are you done? Yeah, let's check you. So if I do skills, see, that still makes no sense to me. Installed in this project for Claude Code. Tool level project scope isn't available yet. This copy makes no sense to me. You're telling me it is installed in this project, and then immediately after you're saying that tool level is not available. So help me understand what we're actually trying to say here, because it makes no sense to me. I gotta say, I do like Solo. I think it could all be tightened up. I think the project headers are too bulky. I think the spacing between the processes is too generous. But we'll get there. Okay, what it's trying to say, installed in this project for Claude Code, means the skill is actually active for Claude Code in the currently selected project. Yes, that part I get. Means you cannot use that chip to fine-tune Claude Code separately from other tools. Oh, I see. Well, that's stupid. No, just make it overridable. No, instead of that, let's just make project level skills installable in single tools. Like, is there anything technically stopping us from doing that, or did we just get lazy and give up? Is that too mean? Oh, through a IT approval process. Well, the good news is, I will say, it's all local. So Solo itself runs the MCP. But of course, it does expose a local server that, knock on wood, is safe. But yeah, I don't know what your IT approval process is. We deferred scoped override. Yeah, all right. Well, don't defer it. Just do it, man. Okay, this is looking good. Y'all, I think we're getting close to the end of my energy. How long have we been going here? 2.5 hours. It's a long time. All right, what have we done? All right, loadout is working. Faster, we added field notes. We still have a little bit of polishing to do there. I think you're done. I'm done with you. And I think, honestly, I'm done with you as well. I think I'm done with faster for now. I do need you to work on that. What do you want? Oh, wow, look, it skips over that one. Why does it skip over that one? Why does it skip over that one? Why does it skip that one? Oh, why in the world? Okay, so what was the sequence of events? I was on the desktop header. I got a notification for the codex tab. And then I try to arrow to it. And it perma skips. But what if I go here by clicking? It still skips. But if I click on it, oh, something's wonky. All right, well, we've got our next task. Let's get a researcher on it. All right, so I was navigating on the left-hand sidebar, and I got a push notification or a toast for an agent. It was the only agent in the project, and I had my my focus cursor was on the desktop, or was on the project header. I got the push notification. I tried to arrow down to get to that process, and the process becomes unreachable by arrow navigation. I can click on it and it does focus it, but I'm not able to actually hit that process by arrow navigation. For some reason, it appears as if it was dropped out of the use visible items state. So I need you, don't write any code, but do an investigation on if that code path is reasonable or if the notification popping is just a red herring. I don't feel like that's the notification. This is Codex. The surrounding app is an app that I built. So Codex is inside of Solo. I'm also wondering if I should allow 2 lines for these summaries, because I'm getting like 3 words here. So I'm wondering if I should take the font size down and allow it to be 2 lines instead of just 1. We're gonna put in a little nicotine, so don't tell my mom. Poor Carol would be shocked. I do feel like 2 lines maybe looks better. All right, patching tool. So you're still working. All right. Who's working on desktop? You're looking for that problem. There we go. There's always a state mismatch, my friends. It's always a state mismatch. You hate to see it. Very specific architectural split. Row rendering is config backed, while arrow navigation is snapshot backed. Why? All right, you're still cooking on project scopes. I need you. I don't think I want you to do anything, in fact. I want to get these docs on the website, though. Actually, let's do this. Because the docs look terrible. That's something we can do right now. Guys, we're still rocking 2.5 hours on Love Somebody by Friendship. If you're not listening to this on your own speakers, you should. Love Somebody by Friendship. All right. I need you to take a look at the docs page. Currently, the way that it's rendered does not match the kind of the vibe of the rest of the page, or I'm sorry, the rest of the website. We have several good UI components that we could potentially leverage. The privacy and legal pages are content heavy, so that might serve as some sort of shell inspiration. Although I do think the docs need to be full width. Right now on the left-hand side, we've got the navigation, and on the right-hand side, we've got the table of contents. I do like that, but it just, the flourishes and the components and everything don't quite match the rest of the site. So why don't you start by doing an audit and seeing on the docs page what is blatantly mismatched, and then we can move forward to properly designing it so that it fits the cohesive narrative of the entire site. Oh, there's my email. Don't send me any emails. All right, who's done? Solo Desktop is done. Hey. Okay, use visible items, use list navigation. In that pipeline, a process row is only added if it produced a snapshot. The rendered sidebar row does not use the same rule. Even when there are already tests encoding that assumption. That's not good. The passive does not touch visible items. It only marks notified. Okay. Okay. We want one source of truth. That's why it's called a source of truth. All right. I don't like that there are two different sources of truth. That defeats the purpose of a source of truth. So what would it look like to streamline or not streamline, consolidate these two code paths into a single source of truth with minimal blast radius on the rest of the app? Don't start writing anything. Just do some more investigation for how we could unify these so that we never have any state drift. Yep, you gotta love. Did you vibe code this generator? Generator. Muba 000. What generator? You're talking about this app? If you're talking about this app, somewhat. I take minor umbrage with vibe code, not because it's offensive, but because it's not entirely accurate. In part, it is accurate because I have not opened the editor for that app at all. So for this app, I've never opened the IDE. Did I vibe code it? I don't think so. Do we call these slop generators? Well, you call it whatever you want. I do not call it a slop generator, if I'm being honest. So no, I don't think I vibe coded it. I think I agentically engineered it. Maybe that's cope, but I think it's not, because I actually have read the code and understand mostly what's going on. What do you need to do? You need to grep. Oh my goodness. You can always grep. Why are you bothering me? Do not bother me with such trivial matters. You want to find. You can always find. All right, you said you're done. And then our terminal bug hit us. All right, so we added a new migration. Let's see what you look like now. Skills. Cool. Project scope. I can install the add creative. Well. Yep. Nope. Can't install anything. All right. Install add creative in this project. Okay. So nothing works. So that's a good start. Well. Oh my gosh, we've got 2 add creatives here. That's not ideal. Let's pick agent email inbox. I think it's going to pop it to the top. Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, it should not allow me. Okay, so we can install and uninstall at the project level, which is good. Okay, this is wrong. That kind of worked. At the project level, I'm able to install discreetly into Claude and Gemini. However, the AMP and Codex and OpenCode tooltips still say install, but when I click on it, it doesn't do anything. Presumably because project level scoping is not available there, which I'm dubious about. But regardless, if we believe project level tooling isn't possible, the tooltip should not say install in AMP. If we're going to click on it, nothing happens. I still think AI is still cheaper than AI. I still think AI is still cheaper than AI. I still think, all right, I must admit, I have no idea what you're saying. All right, who's done? You're done. Okay. The cleanest single source of truth is not visible items. So it cannot be authoritative, correct? Because it has collapsed. Should be a shared projection. What does that mean? UI, one deterministic join of these two reused everywhere. That join is duplicated and inconsistent. I agree. Has a third command-only projection. I would not add a new store or a new TANSTAT query. Good. Second cache to invalidate. Bad. The low blast path. Okay. Reuse that helper. Change visible items. Oh, you're doing a pseudo-racist joke. This is... Hey, thanks, Harry. No, the app that I'm using... Oh, come on, Chrome. Clearly, I wanted that tab here. Use monologue.to. This is what I use. Excuse me. It's good. I like it. It's also very pretty. This is by the folks... Evie, come on. It's by these folks who... You should give me all your money, but if you don't give me all your money, you should give your money to these people. They're great. They do just an unbelievable amount of content. Use Monologue. There you go. Monologue for voice dictation. That's what I do. So I'm a paying member of the every.2 subscription, which... How much does it cost? The only subscription you'll ever need. Yeah, I know that. How much does it cost? Pricing. Their landing page is great. Also, their their AI art style is very good. It's very consistent, unique, and not, in my opinion, sloppy. This is the CEO. Oh, Mac only. I guess they don't want you to know how much it is. I think it's like $199 or $299 a year, something like that. All right. Where were we? Yeah, his name is actually Dan Shipper. So what is that? That's is that nominative determinism? Yeah. The theory that people are subconsciously drawn to careers that fit their names, like this guy, Les McBurney. A fire chief named Les McBurney. Christian guy. Hysterical. Chiropractor McCracken. That's a good bit. A neurologist named Lord Brain. No. This is not real. Suyu. Cashier Kaching. Weed arrested for marijuana possession. Meat manager Brad Slaughter. Get real. Doctor. Librarian Bookendorf. Scott Speed. Joshua Butt. What is Malfate, Robin? Seawright. Get real. Dr. Ashley Seawright, eye specialist. Storm Field is a meteorologist. Oh, Wake and Pain. Come on, computers. Let me just have a little fun here. Matthew Correspondent, Aaron Farr. Pam Graves is an archaeologist. Peter France. There's another one. One of my kids' books is Sue Flies. Wrote a book. Sue Flies wrote a book called The Bug Book. This is a book that my kids love. It's just a book about bugs, and her name is Sue Flies. Poorly or badly made in French. Nah. You're fine. Naming is not destiny. All right, who's done? Man, that was a good list, wasn't it? If you want drift across the app, I do. All right, I do want to eliminate drift across the app. So I think we might need to just go ahead and jump straight to phase 2. But why don't you land phase 1 first, solidify it with tests, and then we'll come back to phase 2. I don't know why I ever put those toasts in the bottom right. See, these are things you only learn by shipping. All right, loadout. What did you do? All right, let's see. You claim to have fixed it. I do wish this would remember my window size, which is possible. Although in dev, it is a little wonky. All right, so what do you do now? Add creative. I am project scoped, add creative, project local aren't supported, install in Claude. Ugh. Okay. Okay. The tooltips are now correct, but I clicked on I was in a local scope and I clicked on install in code, and the optimistic update applied, and the Claude logo became saturated with color, but then it immediately rolled back. So I did not install the skill into all tools locally. I was trying to simply install it into Claude locally, and it didn't stick. So I need you to investigate that path, please. I don't see agents calling subagents. That's because I don't think any agents are calling subagents. Just me. If you count me as the super agent, then it is agents calling subagents. All right, who's done? Who's done with what? I'm loving the activity indicators. Very helpful. Not loving the gradient blur or the gradient glow around those triangles. Rather, let me speak correctly, those chevrons. Action required. Here we go. Grep. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, Grep. Do whatever you want, man. You're killing me, Gemini. I'm not even on, actually I may be on Gemini 3.1 Pro. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Boy, this flicker is brutal. Auto accept edits, please. All right, here's your audit. Header inconsistency, agreed. Custom layout, we hate it. Missing shell flourishes, correct. Prose docs enforces 65 characters. That feels okay to me. Yep. Unified layout, rewrite, yes, that's fine. Full width. Let's let it do that, and then we'll prune it back if it went too far. Yep, go ahead and start implementing that. Okay, you're off to the races. You are landing phase 1. You are trying to figure out why you sucked so bad the first time. Okay. I do love these little, I love those. I think they need to be 2 lines. Let's do a Claude for this guy. Can you tell me on the sidebar what a, can you tell me on the sidebar what the process title, what font size it's using, and the rolling summaries? Can you tell me what font size it's using? I don't know if it's that I want it done my way. I just don't think we're to AGI yet. And I think these things still make mistakes. I'm fine if it does it its own way. There are things I've looked at and I'm like, I wouldn't do it that way. But if you like that, that's fine. I don't care. But there are definitely times where I look at it and I'm like, brother, you didn't even get close to fixing this issue. Or it'll duplicate something. And so I watch it. Okay. Process titles use text SM. Boy, it's already extra small. So I allow the users to change the UI size or the font size of the UI. That's a toughie. You're back, aren't you? That is a toughie. Row height is H8 normally expands to H11 when a summary is present. See, now I'm wondering why we're even using fixed heights at all instead of letting it declare its own height. What is the spacing between processes? Either gap Y or margin. Because that also feels a little loosey-goosey to me. How are you doing? You're cruising. How are you doing? The regression is in. Okay, you're cooking. Oh, you're done. Let's see what you did. Let's see what you did, my friend. How'd we do? Come on. Wake up, PHP. This is brutal. Supporting developers through emailing. Maybe, I don't know. We gave it a shot, didn't we? We gave it a shot. Not a very good shot. But we gave it a shot. Oh, that is just chaos. That is just incredibly bad. All right, that is hysterical. Okay, close but not quite. I think to support a 3-column layout where the left hand is navigation and the right hand is table of contents and the middle is breathable, I think we have to go full width in that container. Because you can see from the image that I attached that it looks pretty bad. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go full width on the container? We'll put the navigation far left, and then we'll add the we'll add a separator component that has the cross hatching. But let's make that pretty narrow since we need a lot of the space. Let's do like W8 on that. And then we'll have the middle column that actually contains the content. Let's make that, I think we can go back to max width 65 characters. That seems fine. And then we'll do a symmetrical, whatever, W8 separator component. And then on the far right, we can put the on-page table of contents. That should give us a little more space. Let's try that. You will cause a bring IDEs back movement. I don't know what that means. I'm not using an IDE. All right, here we go. Everybody's building something. Keeps popping up. I landed the shared sidebar projection. They now consume the same snapshot. That's good. That's good. I rewired nav. That's good. Regression coverage was added for missing error navigation. Cool. Okay, you can move on to phase 2. Yo, I haven't seen you in a while. All right, Gemini, did you clean up after yourself? Wow, that was fast. All right, you're still working, so I'll give you a little grace there. Hey, that's better. I do not, however. All right, so it's a width problem. That's better. I have not streamed in a while. That is a good defense. Wrong one. Okay, that's getting closer. I think we need to tighten up both sidebars. On the left-hand nav, we've got way too much width, way too much horizontal padding. On the right-hand nav, the on-page table of contents, we do not need that leading border, that left-hand border, and we don't need as much space, horizontal space there. So let's tighten both sidebars up. And then for the actual documentation, all the fonts are way too big. So I don't know if that's a prose issue. But we could drop every single font down a step or two there. Hey, Nuno. Good to see you. Good job at EU. All right. Core project scope was not the thing dropping Claude. Install broadly then narrow to I see. Both backend paths pass. Easy to say. Paths pass. No, you took off the wrong border, you dummy. Hey, Freak, we were just talking about you on today's Mostly Technical, how we both saw you from afar and then couldn't get to you and didn't get to say hi. I'm glad you like it. I super appreciate that. Have you seen Conductor? I have seen it. I've not used it. I don't know. So if you listen to tomorrow's Mostly Technical, which we recorded today, I still have open questions about like, are work trees like the right thing to do? I'm not convinced. So I don't know. Right now I'm focused on kind of replacing the terminal and not replacing like the work tree orchestrator. I think the broad population is not ripping multiple agents in one code base. That's my thought, but I could be wrong. But that's my thought for now. So the problem was everything was scoped to install broadly then narrow instead of just install directly. Yeah, that's crazy. I have not done a manual click through. Well, yeah, because you don't have arms. Okay, so let's. Yes, that is the thing that's the thing I'm really resting on, is that my job is to basically let you use the first party CLI tools so that you get all the new features like day one. Like I'm not competing with the labs. I don't want to do that. Oh, good. Frake, you're coming to US. That's great. Yeah, I'm already like, I'm, ripping in multiple projects and I'm already like, and they're completely different. I'm already having trouble keeping track of everything. Can't imagine doing 10 things in one project without checking it. That's the part I don't get. All right, skills. Add creative. Can I install in Claude Code locally only? Wah. Wah. Okay, no. So here's what we do now. It still appears as if the optimistic mutation is rolling itself back, so I don't think it's actually working. Have we implemented the unified logging that is present in one directory up in the desktop app? So if you look one directory up and you go to the desktop app, you'll see there's a lot of tooling around unified logging, and that is where both the Rust logs and the browser logs end up in the same file so that you, the agent, can tail that file and we can add markers to see what's actually happening. I believe that requires a new Vite endpoint and injecting some stuff into the front end behind a, whatever it's called, like a meta.env.dev, so that it compiles out from production. But I think the next step we need to do now is we need to get our logging tooling set up correctly so that you can read Rust logs and browser logs all together. And then I also want you to grab from the desktop repo, I want you to grab the tari dev command, because I believe there's like a log formatter kind of nestled in that command. So why don't you go take a look at all that? Whew. I was referring less to the work trees, but the chat style interface is nice. So I'll show you something. Let's see. This is dev solo, so I can kill that. Let's do, I don't remember what it's called. Let's add a terminal here. So we're going to run npm start. I think there's a universal. Maybe there's not. Let me just see Ghosty here. I have behind a feature flag. Like a universal chat. So I'm not sure if I'll get there. Let's just ask Claude how to do it, because I can't remember the command to run it. You're working on something. What's the command to run tari dev but have the universal chat GUI enabled? I'm on the wrong branch. That's why. That's not going to work. I'll have to show you that later. But I do have I've got like a codex style GUI chat where you can switch between models mid chat or whatever. Work trees would be fine if setup was easy. Agreed. Could be cool if Solo would make that easy and provide a template like config for env differences. Agreed. Work tree creation, composer install. No, I think you're right. That's the thing I'm trying to get my head around, is like, what is an ergonomic workflow? I just feel like it's beyond power user to be going straight to work trees. And I don't know that that's my target audience. That's not how I work. Yeah, I don't want to download Polyscope, but it does seem like he's doing it right. All right, this is closer, but this is not quite right. Yep. It's still a little goofy. Who did that? Jim and I did that, I think. All right, that's better. We lost the border on the separator, which we need to restore. And in fact, both separators need both X borders applied. Currently, the left-hand separator has a left-hand border, and no right-hand border, and the right-hand separator has no X borders whatsoever. So we need to make sure that both separators have both X borders. And then it appears as if the left-hand sidebar is actually the one applying the border, because you'll see from my screenshot that the border on the left-hand separator stops short. And so I don't believe that the separator is actually the one providing the border. So let's remove the right-hand border from the left sidebar and rather apply X borders to both separators such that they run the full length of their separators. How are you switching between projects? Yes, you can always read that. So you can navigate between projects in a couple of different ways. And I'm still trying to find out like what's the best. So like if your focus is on the sidebar, you can hit Command down to go to the next project, regardless of, you know, whatever's open or whatever's closed. You can hit Option up and down to navigate between subgroups like that. If you are focused in, see, look, we lost that one again. I think we fixed that bug though. If you're focused in a terminal, you can hit Command down to just go to the next running terminal, or, you know, agent, process, whatever. And then there's Command E, which is a jump. So Command K is like every action that we have, and this needs to be beautified a little bit, but Command E is quick nav. So if you do Command E and do, you know, loadout codecs, you can just, oh, that's where I am. Command E will do, where do we want to go? We'll do solo codecs. You can just jump over there. So Command E is your jump palette. Oh, also Command left bracket, right bracket is like navigate forward and backwards through history. So if you're just hopping between two, that's probably the best way to go. I don't know that Command N was ever anything. I don't know if it was. And of course, you can customize all that. You can customize all of those hotkeys to do whatever you want. Well, rather, not to do whatever you want, but to be whatever you want. All right, so you're still working. All right, lint came back. All right, here we go. Okay, so I probably need to stop. Actually, what if we try this? What if we just hit restart on that? Cool, it worked. So it killed Tari Dev and then just immediately restarted it. All right, here we go. Got a bunch of warnings. I need to fix all that. Look, browser logs. Browser logs, baby! So now we're seeing browser logs in the same log file as the Rust logs. So if I were to come over to skills, shrink that down so you all can see it. I am project scope on the skills. There we go. Just triggered the issue. Cool. So now I can tell. All right, I restarted npm tari dev, so all the logs should be streaming into the correct place. And I just triggered the issue again where I am in the project scope. The skill is not installed in all tools, and I try to specifically install the skill in Claude Code, and the optimistic update flashes and then it rolls back. So can you review the unified log stream and see what's going on? Love the unified log stream. Love, love, love. All right, who's ready? You're still cooking. What are you doing? Oh yeah, you were this guy. Hey, that's looking better. We still have a container size issue. So at this width, which you all can't see, let me put you on full screen. At this width, That looks okay. I'm still not in love. Boy, why does that font still feel so big? All right, first of all, this on this page needs to be position sticky. Can we ensure that the on-page table of contents is sticky? So when I scroll down, it should stay on screen, and it should also update to show what section is active. So we might need to track like the headings with intersection observers or something. I don't really care how you do it, but as we scroll, the table of contents on the right should stay fixed or sticky, and the navigation on the left I don't care about that one staying sticky. That can scroll off the screen. Okay. What are you doing? Aha! I found the actual bug. And the log stream did not expose it at all. Okay, that's fine. Sounds like a database issue. Yep. I found the actual bug. The live database did. So all these Tari apps, I use SQLite just because it's everywhere on every machine ever invented, which is nice because this can just like go read the database and see what's going on. All right, your new add creative install tried to claim the same tool target. Aha. Interesting. Okay. All right, so you think that you're done. Oh my goodness, why does this local process, PHP process, hang forever? All right, well, again, dear Clanker, you have fixed nothing. Like literally nothing. Not even, oh my goodness, not even a little bit. All right, so you are not sticky. Notice how the right-hand sidebar is scrolling off the screen. It is not sticky at all. That's an image there you can read. See, that's interesting. Those usually get converted by the CLI itself. You're still cooking down here? It's turned out to be kind of a big refactor. Unified devlog didn't contain, yeah, I know. All right. Solo desktop thinks you're done. Are there any other tests we need to add to exercise this new consolidated projection / surface area? Who was done? You were done. Okay. And you are this guy. All right. Fingers crossed. Every prompt is like pulling the slot machine. Did we win? Add creative in Claude. We won! It worked. Cool. Well, that's nice. Now, so I'm able to install skills per tool per project. I'm able to install skills globally. Oh God, we've got to stop this sorting issue. I think we just need to stop it dead in its tracks. Okay, that looks good. Can you, right now, when a user clicks on like install or something, we resort the table based on installation. And so like the moment the user releases, the moment the user goes mouse up, the whole table row shifts around and it's impossible to tell what happened. I think I want to, instead of sorting, I think I just want to sort by name regardless. So I think we have a 2-pass sort right now, which is installed, not installed. I just want to have a 1, and then the second pass is alphabetical by name. Because we have the filter tab at the top, which lets users scope down to installed and not installed, let's just get rid of the 2-pass sort and do a single alphabetical pass across the whole skills table. Oh, headphones died. So where did the chat go? That's interesting. I don't know if Streamlabs is a good chat tool. All right. Yes, you go, and then you say you're done. All right, here we go. 3 tests I'd add next. Yep. Okay. Okay, yes, add those 3. And then go ahead and add the 2 nice to haves as well. Is anybody still out there? I think Restream chat is still working. Oh, but my chat overlay is dead. Okay, loadout in codecs. Cool, let's try it. Yeah, that's better. So if I install Agents SDK locally, yep. Cool. Oh, thank goodness. Awesome Edwin is still here. Okay. Let's, when we're in a local scope and we're hovering over a tool, let's surface the project name in the tooltip so that users, it's abundantly clear to users that they're about to install this in the XYZ project for Cloud Code only. Oh, good. Hi, Tessa. Okay. You think you're finished, huh? Hey, you are finished. A little bit wonky on the scroll there. Why would that be happening? I feel like that's a codex issue. Sorry, Gemini, I do not believe you can solve this. Right now on the docs, layout, we have an on-screen or an on-page table of contents that is supposed to update as we scroll, which item is currently active. I am noticing a little bit of backtracking. So I'll scroll down and a header will become active, and I scroll a little bit more, and then the one above that becomes active before jumping down to the next one. So I think our math, either on the intersection observer or something, is not quite right, or maybe not deterministic enough. So I need you to investigate the math on the on-page table of contents. Okay, let's see what you come up with. You are, holy moly, you're adding a lot of tests there. Okay. Hello, TH Caddy. The Caddy. All right. No gap for the class. There's no gap or margin between process. They are rendered as adjacent siblings. That's a terminal problem. A div with a fixed height. I think I'm going to leave that for the designer. I just feel like this sidebar could be more vertically compact. But that's not quite my strong suit, to be honest with you. All right, Codex, what did you find? Yeah, 3 separate offsets competing with each other. Oh, Gemini. Oh, Gemini, what have you done? Cool. Those cover. I don't see another high. Okay. Can you run the type check? I know that it's unrelated to what you did, but I think there's a failing type check with something like terminal session or something. He says confidently. Okay. Loadout, what have you done? All right, let's see how that looks. So if we go to skills, we are in local. Install in project. Oof. Okay, so solo plays a sound effect, and then the OS actually plays a sound effect too. That's not good. Okay. I'm using monologue for speech to text. We only need to surface the project name if they can actually install it. So for the ones that are like projects level, whatever, you don't need to surface the project name because that makes it feel like it's not available in that project when in reality it's not available in any project. Okay, who's ready? Codex. Yep. Deterministic. God, if there's one thing I love, it's when robots say they've created a deterministic fix. All right, let's see. Did you fix it deterministically? Hey, that is smooth. Look at that. Smooth. I dig. Can you do an audit of all the font sizes in this docs layout and tell me what they are and from whence they derive? Hit them with a whence just so they know I'm in charge. I am not using Conductor. I have not ever used it, although I'm led to believe it's quite good. This is Solo, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, soloterm.com. I made it. This is me. Project names now only appear. Okay, let's see if that's true. Skills, agent browser. Yes. 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 Okay. All right. You can create a checkpoint commit. I don't know if that's like a real thing, but the robots love to be like, hey, do you want me to just commit everything ever? I call that a checkpoint commit. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Don't try to surgically commit a bunch of stuff and then end up losing it. Just create a checkpoint commit. This is not released. It doesn't matter. Checkpoint commit is in. All right. I need you to do some investigation because we are currently claiming that for AMP and Codex CLI and OpenCode, we are claiming that they don't support project level tools. And I find that somewhat hard to believe. I'm willing to be convinced. But I need you to do some research and see if any of those three that I just mentioned do in fact support project level, and we just don't know about it yet. Okay. All right. Is it available for Linux? Not yet. It's supposed to work on Linux, and I have a Linux computer that I bought off of the internet from Amazon.com. But I haven't fired it up yet, and I haven't tested it on a Linux computer. However, in CI on GitHub, it passes on Linux. So the odds are ever in my favor, but I have not yet actually done it. All right, you think you're done. Holy moly. This is insane. Yeah, this is insane. One, we need to stick to a Tailwind font scale. So no arbitrary font sizes. If we need additional font sizes, we can add them to the actual Tailwind scale. Secondly, the Docs Prose is still too large, so we need to decrease that quite a bit. And don't change anything outside of the docs layout. Like, I don't want you to go muck about with the site footer or the nav or anything. So let's keep our audit scoped down to docs layout, sidebar, pagination, link card, nav item, etc. But we do need to get rid of this proliferation of font sizes and bring everything down a notch or two. All right, let's see. Do you ever use a single Claude AI session with multiple directories to implement? Yes, I do. So even in Solo, I've got Solo Desktop and soloterm.com. Those both live in a Solo directory. It's not a mono repo, it's just a directory. And sometimes I will go up to the parent, the Solo directory, and be like, hey, I need you to look at the desktop app and write some marketing copy. And those are across two fully different repos. So I will. I'll have them work across two different repos. I can help you test on Linux. That'd be great. Do you use one Claude session in each separately? Oh, that's a follow-up to your previous question. Not if it needs context from the other repo. Have you read OpenAI's Harness article? That is a good question. I don't think I have. Oh, Solo Cup. That's great. I got to get Solo Cup merch for Solo. That's a great idea. All right, who's done with something? You are searching the internet. So be it. Here we go. I don't think it's correct for any of those three. Yeah, I didn't think so. Goofball. Codex Project Local is supported. AMP. Yep. 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 Go ahead and patch the catalog, please. Love it. All right. Scoped 2. All right. That's already looking better. Okay. Within the docs pros container, the vertical rhythm on that is far too generous. So I don't know who's applying either the line height or the margins. I don't know if that's proper Tailwind pros or if we invented our own pros. But for this docs page specifically, it's far too loose. I don't think that's actual Tailwind pros. I don't know. Should the left hand be sticky too? It maybe should. Oh, it maybe should. Oh, it's 5:50. I think I got like 5 more minutes in me. I've been going for a long time. 3 hours and 47 minutes? Is that right? Wow. That's crazy. Strict agent programmatic guardrails. Yeah, I've got a bunch of custom ESLint rules and architecture tests to ensure that we don't have certain patterns pop in. But I'll give that a read. See what that's talking about. Okay, cool. All right. So we made some good progress today. Shrink you down. All right, so I am locally scoped, agent browser. Cool. Looks like it works to me. Do the agent icons in the sidebar change when they're done? So when they're idle, they're this open green. When they're working, they're like a spinning green. And if they ring what's called ringing a terminal bell, you'll see a little blue, like unread notification next to it. I will try to provide an app image. If I'm being honest, I don't know what that means, but that's never stopped me before. So I'll figure it out. Okay, that's fine. All right, you can commit all that. Okay, I think we're wrapping up, folks. So I am going to stop Tari Dev here. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to leave you open. I think you're dead. Yeah. See, look up here. You see loadout has the little blue dot. That means some process within that project rang a bell. And you also got this notification here. I'm going to close you. And so if you open loadout, you'll see codex is the one that rang a bell. And so it needed something. All right. So I'm done with you. Stop and close. We're all done here. I don't think I need... Yep, you're dead. I'm going to leave you open. That all seems good to me. You can commit all of that. I'll need to refine that later. Okay, you're done. Yeah, inspect that and see if you can fix it. It's good. We're getting a bunch of stuff done. I don't know what to do about that. That's not my responsibility. And we can close you. Cool. And I can see, based on the green, or rather the gray, that no processes are running in here. That's good. Solo term wants my attention on something. Committed. Deterministic. I dig. All right. You're dead. Command up and down. So, I don't know. Okay, so watch this. So if I have these two projects open, command down skips over the closed ones and stops like that. If you just do up down, it'll go one by one. But if they're, so it goes 1, 2, then last. So if yours looks like this, 1, 2, it'll go 1, 2, 3, and then last. So the command is meant to skip over closed ones to the next like stopping point. Theory being if they're closed, you're kind of cruising past them. Whether that's a good theory or not is an open question, but that is the theory. So it's supposed to like navigate to stop points basically. And one cool thing is if you get to the top, you can just hit up and go down. And if you get to the bottom, you can hit down and go up, but it doesn't wrap around if you press and hold. So if you press and hold, it goes a lot faster until it reaches the bottom. Then you have to let go and press again to reach the top again, which I think is kind of nice. Okay, I think you said you committed. Yeah, I know there's lots of things that I like tried to make feel nice, but maybe aren't as abundantly clear as they could be. Okay, you can commit everything. You replace, oh, by N, you mean numbers, not the letter N. So command, so if I hold command 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, command 3, option 3 doesn't work. So option takes you to projects, and you're saying option 3 just doesn't work at all? That would be weird. I wonder if you have a system-wide, I know command shift 3 is a screenshot, but I wonder if you have a system-wide Option 3 does something. Yeah, so command is supposed to take you inside of a project. And you can do option A, option C to jump to those headers, which I think is fun. And option 3, 1 takes you to projects. It's a lot of hotkeys, man. Love a hotkey. Okay, I don't know why option 3 doesn't work for you. That's weird. If you can figure it out, let me know. I think we're done. I think we did it, folks. We did a bunch of AI. Cool. Well, any further questions? What's still running? I can stop npm run dev. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know how many people need to do a course on the hotkeys. This was fun. I like this. I'd do this again. I'll probably do this a lot more. Next time, well, I already have the good SDI cable, so we fixed the flickering in the beginning. Next time I'll do low latency stream from Restream, and that will make the chat more responsive. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'll wait for the goodbyes to filter through in case anyone wants to. There we go. There's a later. Please do more of these. I would love to. It's a lot of fun. And we got a lot done. Alrighty. Gotta go home and feed some kiddos. The caddy, just as soon as I can possibly get there. I don't know yet, but I'll work on it as fast as possible. All right, my friends. Thanks for hanging out. How do I end the stream? I'm just going to hit stop streaming.